Hi everyone, so welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Chloe. I am a singer-songwriter, writer and a guitarist, and recently I've been doing a lot of organising videos and how I organise everything. And today, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, I am going to be showing you how I organise all of my writing projects. It's gonna be a bit of a mess, I'm gonna have to say that. I do kind of really want to look into getting Scrivener at some point because I feel like that would really help me for my writing. I've been against it for a long time, but that's because I've been so devoted to Word. But recently I've kind of discovered that it's quite hard trying to contain everything. At some point I do really want to look into Scrivener, and hopefully it will clean up some of this mess. We are starting off on my memory card, which I actually call eWrite. I keep all of my writing stuff on my memory card because with my YouTube, that video would have already gone up. That would have gone up last month for you, but I am pre-filming a lot because I need to get this all done. All of my writing goes on my memory card. That's just kind of where it's lived all this time. I actually got my memory card before my external hard drive, and I never plan on using that for writing because it's just so big and bulky, and the only thing I really use it for is YouTube and transferring pictures over when I use this camera. So let's start off with this thing, because this is where I keep all of my writing projects. I am getting really annoyed with the focus on this camera, but anyway, here goes. So I have a lot of main folders on my memory stick, and these are all of them. I don't know how well you can read them because obviously I can't really see what you're seeing. I can only see what I can see, but hopefully the writing is clear enough for you to see. So first we've got blog posts, which I rarely use, by the way. College, which is where I keep all of my college work. It's really organised basically from my last college year. I've then got documents. I'm not entirely sure what that is. I think it's from when I transferred a load of documents from my laptop to it. And then the main one is obviously fiction, which is the one we're going to go into in a minute. I've also got a one for Instagram where I just make a load of pictures on my laptop, and I need them to go on Instagram. They'll go in that folder. I've then got pictures of me and my boyfriend on here. I've got a folder for non-fiction, which I feel like a lot of people would not expect, but I do have a lot of ideas for non-fiction books, but I just think that I'm never going to publish anything like that. I then have social, which is things like just banners and that kind of stuff. I'm not entirely sure what that actually is. I've then got my songs. If you want to see an organisation video on how I organise my songs, then that might be next year, but if you do want that, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up and I will do that, so I know. I've then got trackers, which is stuff I've made that I haven't used basically. And I've then got a folder for YouTube, which I did have. It's basically just all of my YouTube banners and my old video management file, which I now have saved, and my most recent one is on my desktop. So let's have a click into fiction, and this is the first thing I see when I actually click into it. I've got novels here, old here, which is basically old short stories and things like that. I've then got a folder for organisation, poetry, screenplays and short stories, which are probably more recent. And I think we're actually going to start from the right and then move to the left. So start with short stories. Oh, I do have a bunch of old stuff in here as well. I've got things like just old short stories, a short stories writing session sheet that is They're mainly all like short stories. Okay, we're gonna click out of that because it's a really weird folder. Let's just say that it's basically just a load of short stories that are incomplete, which one day I'll probably go back to and finish if I can be bothered, that is, because I'm just not a short stories writer. I'm not a fan of them. I much prefer putting my dedication into novels. And then screenplays. This is interesting because I've only got 2. That's basically nothing. And then this Playing with Fire screenplay is kind of like, I'd say, a fan fiction of Percy Jackson, like Greek mythology in a way. Not like fan fiction. I don't use the same characters, but it's just Greek mythology with different characters and not Percy Jackson. So that's really random, that folder. I'm guessing a lot of these are going to be random because obviously I haven't looked in these for ages. And then poetry. I used to write poetry all the time. One I do actually have published in a teen collection, like anthology type book thing, which is called The Remembered, by the way. It's basically a poem that I wrote about the world wars and like being a soldier and all of that, just war in general. And I just have about 7 in there. Then organisation, I'm not entirely sure what I've got in here. Okay, so I've got things like NaNoWriMo 2017, trackers, so again things I have never used before, but are just here. I should probably really have a clear out of all of this. Writing trackers, like PDF files, because I actually have these linked up on my Tumblr. I basically uploaded my chapter checklist and writing session sheet onto there, but they are probably so outdated. I just have like types of fictional prose, series, Bible, freebie, a project to complete in 2018, whatever that is, I don't really know. I have project finish, adrenaline rush tracker, and then 2017 to 2018 novel project. So yes, this is very old. And then on the subject of old, we have literally a folder called Old, which basically has a load of short stories in that are probably incomplete. And a lot of these I remember I wrote when I went like on I don't want to say a writing retreat because it wasn't. It was basically like a writing trip with these people. That's great. I basically went with someone else from my school, and then the rest of the people there were from a different school, but it was kind of like the 2 schools were linked, if you know what I mean. I was in secondary school at the time. And then we move on to the famous novels folder, which basically has 1, 2, 3, 4 folders in. I'm going to start off with the annual projects folder, which basically just has my NaNoWriMo projects in from 2017 and then 2018. And then organisation, I have like these. They're basically kind of like the more admin side to writing. I don't know why this folder isn't called that actually, because I've got things like a brief character profile. So it's things like character profiles and tracking my progress and templates for like publishing as well. So I've got a brief character profile, chapter formula. I think that was when I tried to figure out like formatting when things went wrong with that. Wow, look at where I am now, completely rewriting my book that I wrote that I finished last July. And then I have these character profile templates that are more advanced than the brief one. And then I've got a character trauma profile, which is really useful to fill out for main characters that have been through trauma. I then just have June monthly progress, or the definition of love, 4th draft in book 2. And then another monthly progress, May, the definition of love, 4th draft, which doesn't actually exist anymore. And then I just have these 2 self-publishing plan templates, one for a series and one for a standalone. And then back in the novels folder, I'm going to go into the standalone books first, and then I'll go to the series books, because obviously the series books are a bit more advanced because I'm writing a series at the moment. The standalone books, all I really have is all of the ideas that I have, which I am nowhere near writing basically. One of them you might know is, oh god, I just got rid of, no I didn't, I just moved it. I have Arden's Theory in here, which it is going to be a standalone. If you don't know what I'm on about, it's basically the book that is going to be like a sci-fi romance, like sci-fi action romance. This will all probably end up changing at some point. I do have a lot of ideas, some of them which I might never write because I've got a lot of series books, book ideas that I want to write first. I don't really have any like subfolders within any of these, they're just kind of all Word documents. And then in my series folder I've got a random Word document titled Idea. Well, that's brilliant, I don't know what the hell that is. I have a folder of not yet working on like book series, which I probably will never work on, to be honest, and they're kind of like shelved projects. I've got an Action Volcano book series, Modern Royals of a Dying series, Out of the World series, Series of a Series, The Adventures of Thessaly and the Water series. And you're probably like, what the hell are even half of these? I'm questioning that myself, but I do have like a general idea in my head of what they all are. And then I just have the Powers trilogy as well, but that might end up being a standalone, so that will need to move at some point. And then we move on to the famous and very well known Upfield Ridge series that I've been working on. So, funny story, I do actually have this book called Scarlet Blood Skies, which I was going to do an official title reveal for it, but no, it actually got leaked in one of my other How I Organise videos, and I believe that was actually in my YouTube one, like with all of my YouTube files, so it's no point keeping a secret now because I'm sure some of you would have been able to read it. So yeah, it's out there. I just have these things over on the right here to do with the maps of it, and then I have this Upfield Ridge mini series books status. I'm going to go into that in a minute because I think I know what that is. I'm going to have to redo this completely as well. So we all know what a funny kind of love is. That's actually going to end up being actually these titles are most definitely going to change, so there's no point covering them. This is going to change to just a trilogy, so I'm just going to completely forget about the fact that there are 4 books, but it is just going to be Bailey's and Julian's story, which will be the first one. The second one will be Bailey, so it goes back to Bailey, and then the third one will be back to Julian. So the structure of that has changed as well, and it makes more sense because of the first trilogy as well. And then we just have these really like random empty folders. Obviously got the Scarlet Blood Skies one book, kind of like, how would you word it? It's like a standalone within a series, if you know what I mean. And then there are other random series finales from 2 points of view in 2 books. But I think what will end up happening is it'll just be 1 book with all of the characters meeting somehow, but that's going to be really tricky to like plan out and everything, so that might not even happen anymore. Random ideas. The main folder is the Lily and Colton series, which is this. I have titles I have not revealed yet. This was probably a really bad idea. I've obviously revealed Stick, Stones and Broken Bones, so I think we're going to have a click into that and see how this is organised. So I've got characters, drafts, extras, pre-writing and plot information, trackers, and Upfield Ridge, and then I have these 3 extra bits, one being Sticks, Stones and Broken Bones blurb. I've then got a work rota for Colton, who is a car mechanic, and then a work rota for the pool as well, which Lenny works at because she's a lifeguard. So what have I got in characters? I think I've just got a list of all of the characters, and then a dream cast, which is pretty standard actually. There's nothing special to that. In drafts, I basically just have a load of drafts. First draft, second draft, third draft, fourth draft. That's all it really got to. Then extras, what we've got in extras. Oh yeah, deleted scenes and a revision map of what needs to change. Formatting and folder title. And then in pre-writing and plot information, it's mainly things like a brain dump, Colton's depression subplot, which is actually completely redundant now, outlines, pre-outlines, a re-outline, which looks redundant as well, pretty much. And then as you can see, I've got all of the ones with rewrite in the front, which are all for Sticks, Stones and Broken Bones. So we've got the brief outline and two chapter outlines. One's in Excel, which I don't use anymore because I don't like the formatting of it, and now I'm just using Word for that. So that's all of that one. And then trackers, it's mainly just writing session sheets, which I'm gonna have to redo. I've got a chapter summary, complete synopsis. I've just got basically a load of random trackers in here, and I'm not going to go through them all because there's absolutely no point. It's just all like writing session sheets, and I believe, yeah, I can see there are chapter checklists in here as well. And then in Fieldridge, I believe it's, oh, there's nothing in there actually. I thought there was something in there. So that is all for that book. And because I haven't revealed the title for the second book yet, we are not going to go into that one. And that is going to be it for this video, since I can't really show you anymore. And I'm not that sad about it. I'm not going to go through any of my other folders. One, because I might show you how I organise my songs in another video. Honestly, depends. But that is going to be it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also make sure to subscribe down below, and make sure to ding that bell to be notified every single time I upload. Don't forget, all of my social media links will be in the description down below as well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!